Hey all you action figure enthusiasts out there, JC here with another Tuesday quick review, and for today I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new DC Multiverse Clayface Megafig from McFarlane Toys. So this comes in the same style of packaging we see with all the Multiverse. You've got the black box with the Multiverse logo down below along with the character's name. The figure is clearly displayed. Because it's a larger Megafig, it definitely comes in larger size packaging than a normal DC Multiverse figure. You've just got the name on that side. Even bigger, you've got the name on this side, and then on the back you have some artwork. His eyes are lit up there in the picture, and it looks like he's coming to get you. Alright, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside the packaging along with the other content. So the only accessories that this comes with is you get this base, which is, we get this with every figure, but in this particular case, the foot is almost as wide as the base itself. So there's really absolutely no need for that. And then you also get the standard art card, same art that was on the back of the packaging. And then on this side, you've got the little brief bio. Now, besides that, the figure is all you get. Unfortunately, you do not get any like alternate hand pieces like a spiked ball or something like that, which would have been cool. Not surprising we're not getting something like that. We didn't even get anything like that with the Mattel version. So again, not terribly surprising. But the figure itself has definitely got a nice size to it. It's got a pretty good weight to it. But where this one probably shines the most is just the added detailing on the skin, which we're going to take a closer look at here in just a second. Okay, so let's start off by taking a closer look at the head. And overall, I think they've done a good job here. You've got a nice dark wash throughout the entire mud color. He's a big walking pile of mud, so I think they've done a pretty good job with that. And then I like the fact that the jaw is articulated, so you can open the mouth completely like that, or you can have it closed like that. And even when closed, you can still make out the teeth, which I think is pretty good. You've got the upper and lower teeth all are individually sculpted. And then I like the glossy kind of dark maroonish color. It looks like the inside of a mouth there. You don't really make out a tongue per se, but overall, I think they did a pretty good job with the inner paint work of the mouth there. And again, I do like the fact that you can open or close the mouth on this figure. Now with the eyes are done with kind of a dingy yellow, so you don't really get that lighted up effect like you do on the card, but you do get the yellow on the eyes. And I like the expression. It's a very Clayface like expression, so I think they did a good job with that. So overall, I would say the head sculpt is pretty good. Now, as far as movement with the head, you basically can turn it to the left and the right a little bit, but you don't get a whole lot of head movement on this one. In fact, you don't get a whole lot of articulation on this figure, but we'll go over the rest of the articulation in just a minute. Now, for the rest of the figure, I like, overall, you've got like interesting designs throughout, like here you can make out this little face. So I like, just that it's not just like, wrinkly mud or what have you. They've actually put in some extra detailing throughout the body. So that's not something that we generally see, but I think, I definitely like that McFarlane kind of went that extra mile with the detailing on the sculpting of the mud and like these faces and stuff that you can find throughout the body. So again, that's not something that we generally see on other figures of Clayface that have been done by other companies. And then besides the, faces and such, you also have these like little mud spikes that are kind of sticking out throughout the body, on the back and on the arms and everything. So again, that's just a little bit extra nice detailing there. So Clayface stands, if you count the spike on his back there, that's the highest point on the figure. He stands just a little bit under 9 inches tall. So he definitely has a good length or height to him, and then the width of him is, I would say, roughly about 7.5 inches if you go from arm to arm. Now the Mattel one is a little bit taller, but I would say the size between the two is pretty comparable. The Mattel one was a Build-A-Figure. If I remember correctly, this was sculpted by the Four Horsemen. You also had the articulated jaw on the Mattel one. and you did not have any extra hand accessories with the Mattel one. But what you didn't get with the McFarlane or the Mattel one is you didn't get the extra detailing on the skin. You know, you had some wash, but you didn't have like the faces or the spikes or anything like that. Definitely, if you're comparing these two, I think the McFarlane one wins with just more detailing on it. And here's a comparison of the Batman, the first Batman figure done in the Multiverse line from McFarlane Toys, and you can see Clayface is definitely taller than Batman here. For one final comparison, here's a look at the DC collectible Clayface figure done for the Arkham video game line several years ago. This figure obviously is bigger. This was a huge ass figure that the DC Collectibles did. You did get extra hand attachment pieces with this one. But even on this one, as detailed as it is and such, I think the McFarlane one has a little more detailing in the skin or mud or whatever you want to call it. Okay, now for the articulation. So I already showed you the articulation you get with the head. Now with the arms, they're just your standard ball hinge joint. He can get his arms out about that much. You can rotate the arm all the way around with no real issue. You get basically a rotation at the elbow. You don't get a bicep swivel, but and then you just get the single hinged elbow. So he really doesn't have a whole lot of bending there at the elbow. You get some wrist articulation on the hands, so you get a little bit of up and down movement, and you get some rotation there. So not too bad. Fingers are not articulated. Then at the midsection, you actually, this is done with a rubber type material, this piece here and this piece here. So you can sometimes get some gappage there when you're moving the figure around. But overall, you know, you get a little bit of movement there. You can actually, you know, kind of bend, though I do worry that you might, I don't know, stretch out this rubber type material if you're bending it too much. So I would be careful. And like you get rotation here, you can see it kind of rotates there. So, but you don't really get any rotation up here. Now, one thing I will note is that it feels like it's kind of loose. And then again, you get this kind of funny gappage when you start moving him around here at this midsection. So you have to kind of play with it to make sure, you know, you don't have that gaping hole there. Though I guess you could kind of use that, mimic that, since he kind of sucks things into himself. A lot of times, I guess you could kind of use that as part of a play gimmick if you wanted to. But overall, you know, I don't think you're supposed to have the gappage there. So that's just probably my biggest complaint about the figure. And I could see over time that getting stretched out or what have you and becoming a problem. For the legs, he can actually do the splits really well. He can get the leg forward really good, and he can do the leg back. You get that kind of upper swivel there, like you always do on these figures. And then with the knees, again, only a single hinge knee, so you can bend his knee about that much. You do get rotation there at the knee, and then there's no kind of foot or ankle articulation. The lowest articulation you get on the figure is there at the knees. Okay, so that's my review. Overall, I think this is a really nice looking figure. I think they actually did a pretty good job of capturing the look of Clayface. Yeah, I know some people have made, you know, the comparison to like a big turd, but I mean, to be fair, that is kind of what Clayface looks like, at least this version of him. So again, I think they've done a pretty good job here. My only minor complaint is I do worry about this kind of rubber material that they used here at the waist and that getting stretched out or what have you, and having like a big gap there. But otherwise, you know, I think McFarlane has done a nice job with the figure. While I won't call it super articulated, it's probably as good as any of the other Clayface figures I have. And so no real complaints there. I would have liked to have seen some alternate hand attachment pieces, but again, not surprising that we didn't get that. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about the figure down in the comment section below. Like the video if you're so inclined. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. As always, guys, stay safe out there, and until next time, I'll catch you later.
Hey, thanks for watching today's video, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification so alerted every time I upload a new video. And be sure to head over to the Toy News International and Marvelous News Message Boards communities. It's a great place to talk toys and win cool contests like $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. And remember, action figures are great.